Hello friends, I am Professor Ashish Valale, Assistant Professor of SSR College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Silvassa. Today we are going to discuss about integrations. Integrations have many more applications in our day-to-day life. Integrals are applied in various fields. To calculate area of a given surface, we apply integration. Similarly, to calculate the velocity and trajectory of an object, we apply integration. Integration is applied in the field of medical sciences to determine the exact rate of growth in a bacterial culture when different variables such as temperature and food source are changed. Efficiency of air conditioners can be increased by using heat flow principle, and this heat flow principle is based on the concept of integration. These are some applications of integration in our day-to-day life. Okay, let us discuss about the concept of integration. Consider a circular surface with a radius r. To find out the area of this circle, we use standard formula area is equal to pi r square. If the given surface is a square, then the area of this surface is given by area is equal to side square. But suppose that the given surface is having any arbitrary shape. In this case, we cannot apply any standard formula to find out area. To find out this area, we need the concept of integrations. Integration is simply the way of adding slices to find the whole. For example, suppose we have given this surface having any arbitrary shape. To find out the surface area, we first divide the surface into a number of slices, and suppose that the ith slice is having area AI. If we find out the summation of all these small areas, then we get the total area of surface. But what happens? This process gives the approximate value. That means this area contains an error. To minimize this error, we decrease the size of this slice. That means if we consider more number of slices, we get the better value, and this gives rise the concept of integration. Consider XY coordinate system where the horizontal axis is x-axis and the vertical one is y-axis. Suppose that f of x is the given function and this one is the curve of f of x. Now consider 2 points, x is equal to a and x equal to b on x-axis. On this point, consider the perpendiculars which intersects this curve of the function and the area enclosed by x-axis, this curve of function and these two perpendiculars. This area is called integration of f of x dx under limit x equal to a to x equal to b, where a is called lower limit and b is called upper limit. That means the integration of f of x dx is nothing but the area enclosed by the given function x-axis and the perpendicular drawn on these limit points. This area is the integration f of x dx. Integration is nothing but the antiderivative. Suppose we have given function f of x is equal to x square. We know that the derivative of x square with respect to dx is 2x. Then the integration of 2x dx is equal to x square. But what will happen if we add some constant term to this x square? Suppose we consider x square plus 5. Suppose we add here 5. Then the derivative of x square plus 5 dx will be equal to derivative of x square upon dx plus derivative of 5 with respect to x. We know that the derivative of x square is 2x and derivative of constant term is 0. That means we get the same value 2x. In general, if we add any constant term c, then we get the same derivative. That means the derivative remains same if we add some constant value. Hence, instead of x square, we consider the integration of 2x is x square plus c, where this c is called constant of integration. Derivative of x square with respect to x is 2x, then the integration of 2x dx is x square plus c, where c is a constant of integration. That's why integration is called antiderivative. In general, if f of x is any given function, so if we consider the derivative of f of x plus any constant term c with respect to x, then we can split this term, derivative of f of x with respect to x and derivative of c with respect to x. Derivative of constant term is 0, and suppose that the derivative of f of x is g of x, then we write this as the integration of g of x is equal to f of x plus c. Now we shall see some important formulas of integration. We know that the derivative of x plus c is 1, derivative of x is 1 and derivative of constant term is 0. So the derivative of x plus c is 1. That's why integration of d of x or integration of 1 into dx is equal to x plus c. Similarly, integration of x raised to n dx is equal to x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c, where c is a constant of integration. But we use this formula only when n is not equal to minus 1, because if n is equal to minus 1, then this right hand side will be undefined. So whenever n is not equal to minus 1, we use this formula x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1. But what will be the integration whenever this value of n is equal to minus 1? That means x raised to minus 1 dx, integration of x raised to minus 1 dx means integration of 1 upon x dx. We consider this integration as log of x, because we know that derivative of log of x is equal to 1 upon x, so that integration of 1 upon x dx will be log x plus constant of integration. Similarly, integration of ex dx is equal to e raised to x plus c. Suppose a is any constant term, then integration of a raised to x dx is equal to a raised to x upon log of a plus constant of integration. Similarly, the integration of trigonometric function sin x is equal to minus cos x plus c. Integration of cos x is equal to sin x plus c. Integration of tan x is equal to minus log of cos x plus c. Integration of cot x is equal to log of sin x plus c. Integration of sec x is equal to log sec x plus tan x plus c. Integration of cosec x is equal to log of cosec x minus cot x plus c. We know the derivative of tan x, which is sec square x. So the integration of sec square x is equal to tan x plus c. Similarly, integration of minus cosec square x is equal to cot x plus c. Similarly, integration of sec x tan x is equal to sec x plus c, and integration of minus cosec x cot x is equal to cosec x plus c. So these are the integrations of trigonometric functions. Suppose we have given any two functions, f of x and g of x, then the integration of f of x plus g of x dx is given by this formula. That means we can split this integration into two parts, integration f of x dx plus integration g of x dx plus constant of integration. Okay, now we shall discuss all these formulas in brief. First one is integration of k into dx, which is kx plus c, where k is a constant term, so we can put it outside the integration. Then there will remain integration of 1 into dx, and we know that the integration of 1 into dx is x plus c. The integration of 2 dx is equal to 2x plus c. 2 is a constant term, so we can put it outside the integration. Then it will be 2 into integration 1 dx, and we know that the integration of 1 dx is equal to x plus c multiplied by 2. Similarly, integration of minus 2 dx is equal to minus 2 x plus c. Suppose k is any floating value like 3.91, integration of 3.91 dx is equal to 3.91 x plus c. And suppose k is equal to 0, then integration of 0 dx is equal to 0x plus c, which is c. So the integration of 0 is simply c, that is constant of integration. Now we shall see the relation between these integrations and derivatives. Derivative of 2x, we know that the derivative of 2x with respect to x is equal to 2. That's why integration of 2 dx is equal to 2x plus constant of integration. Derivative of minus 2x is minus 2, so that the integration of minus 2 dx is equal to minus 2x plus c, and so on. So the integration is nothing but simply the antiderivative. Okay, next formulas: integration x raised to n dx and integration of 1 upon x dx. Consider this example. So what is the difference between these two formulas? Whenever n is having value not equal to minus 1, we apply the second formula, and whenever n is equal to minus 1, that means x raised to minus 1, which is equal to 1 upon x. Whenever n is equal to minus 1, we apply this third formula. Consider this example: integration x square dx. Here n is equal to 2. N is not equal to minus 1, so we apply the second formula. x raised to n plus 1 means 2 plus 1 divided by n plus 1 means again 2 plus 1 plus constant of integration, which is equal to x cube upon 3 plus constant of integration. Consider this example, integration 1 upon x square dx. This term can be written as x raised to minus 2 into dx. Here again n is equal to minus 2. N is not equal to minus 1, so we apply the second formula again, x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1. That means x raised to minus 2 plus 1 upon minus 2 plus 1 plus constant of integration. By simplifying we get x raised to minus 1 upon minus 1 plus c, which is minus 1 upon x plus c. And whenever n is equal to minus 1, that means integration of 1 upon x dx is log x plus c. If a is any constant term, then the integration of a raised to x dx is given by a raised to x upon log of a plus c. And whenever this constant value is equal to e, that is natural number, then its integration is itself plus constant of integration. Suppose a is equal to 2. 2 is a constant value. So integration of 2 raised to x dx is equal to, we apply this fourth formula here, a raised to x upon log a. That means 2 raised to x upon log of 2 plus c. Another example, integration of 5 by 7 x dx. Here a, constant value a is equal to 5 by 7. So its integration will be a raised to x. That means 5 by 7 raised to x divided by log of a, means log of 5 by 7 plus constant of integration. And whenever this constant is having value e, that is natural number e, then it gives the integration of e raised to x dx is itself plus constant of integration. Integration of trigonometric functions. We know that the derivative of sin x is equal to cos x. Then integration of cos x dx is equal to sin x plus constant of integration c. Similarly, derivative of cos x is equal to minus sin x. Then integration of minus sin x dx is equal to cos x. If we multiply both sides by minus 1, we get integration of sin x dx is equal to minus x plus constant of integration. Here you have to add constant of integration. Next one, derivative of tan x is equal to sec square x. So the integration of sec square x dx is equal to tan x and so on. Similarly, you can consider the integration of all other trigonometric functions, sin x, cos x, tan x, cot x, sec x and cosec x. Okay, now let us solve some numerical problems on integration. Okay, next one is integration of sum of two functions. Suppose we have given two functions f of x and g of x, then the integration of sum of f of x gx is given by this formula. That means we split the integration into two parts. For example, consider this function, find integration 3x square plus 7x raised to 5 dx. Let f of x is equal to 3x square and g of x is equal to 7x raised to 5. Then the integration 3x square plus 7x raised to 5 dx is equal to, we split this integration into two parts, integration 3x square dx plus 7x raised to 5 dx. 3 is a constant term, so we put it outside the integration. 3 into x square dx plus 7 into integration x raised to 5 dx. 7 is again constant value. Integration of x square is x raised to 3 upon 3, and integration of x raised to 5 is x raised to 6 upon 6. By simplifying this, we get x cube plus 7x raised to 6 divided by 6 plus constant of integration. Okay, consider another example. Find integration of x raised to 4 plus 9x square plus 2x minus 1. Suppose we have given this polynomial. Then how to find integration? Integration of this polynomial with respect to dx is equal to, we split this integration into 4 parts. Integration x raised to 4 dx plus integration 9x square upon 9x square dx plus integration of 2x dx minus integration of 1 into dx, which is equal to integration x raised to 4 dx plus 9 is a constant term, so we consider it as a 9 into integration x square dx plus 2 into x dx minus dx. We know that the derivative of x raised to 4 is x raised to 5 upon 5. Integration of x square is x raised to 3 upon 3. Integration of x is x square upon 2, and integration of dx is simply x plus constant of integration. By simplifying this, we get this value. Okay, consider another example. F of x is equal to x square plus e raised to x. Integration of this function is equal to integration x square dx plus e raised to x dx. Again, the integration of first term is x cube upon 3. Integration of e raised to x is e raised to x plus constant of integration. Try to solve this exercise. Thanks for watching.